Monday, May 26, 2026. This is your Simply Cyber's daily cyber threat brief podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Gerald Auger, coming to you live from the Buffer Auger Flow studio. And I would love to say good morning and welcome to the party. Realizing just now I didn't do the chat, so we'll get that cooked up right now. If you're looking to stay current on the top cyber news while engaging with what I would consider an amazing, talented, caring, and intelligent cybersecurity community, there you go. We've got the chat up and running. Then you're in the right place. Sit back, relax. We got a great show for you. We're off and running on this Monday morning, but on this Tuesday morning. Ooh-de-de-loo, ooh-de-de-loo. Oh, yeah. Long weekend. Always enjoy the long weekend, but then it throws me for a loop when I get into the work day. The good news is I said Monday. It's Tuesday, so we're already ahead of it. Yes. Good morning, James McQuiggan. Good morning, Space Tacos. Marlon J. Super Zoomy, 32 months. Thanks so much for being here for the long haul. Guys, listen, we're going to go through the top stories. We're going to cover 8 stories this morning. Of course, you can go through the headlines yourself. Why would you want to be here with us? Well, there's additional value. There's additional insights that you'll get. I've got 20 plus years and a passion for cybersecurity. And my goal is to go way beyond the headlines and give you insights that you wouldn't normally get unless you'd been in the seat, and basically be able to level up as a practitioner. That's the goal here. It shouldn't take you as long as it took me, because if I can give you, more information, have you take shortcuts to get to the knowledge you need to, basically be the best cybersecurity professional you can be, then that's what I want for you. I'm super excited about it. I know we've got many, many community members in here who are all about leveling people up. Like I said, James McQuiggan. Stay tuned. We got Cyber Career Hotline at 9 a.m. Eastern Time with Cosmic Cowboy, a.k.a. Jesse Johnson. Again, continuing to deliver on the mission here at Simply Cyber, which is support, inclusion, and empowerment of each of you to be able to drive your own cyber career. Now, in light of that, continuing to support the cause, every single episode of the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, SANS Podcast of the Year award-winning podcast, which you're live with right now, is half a CPE. So if you have a continuing professional education credit requirement for your cybersecurity certifications, come check it out. Go to cyberthreatbrief.simplycyber.io/CPE. You can see a link in chat or just go to the website and pull it up. Right here, you'll see on stream if you're watching live with us right now. You can claim your CPE. So put your name, email address, 2 checkboxes, hit enter. And next week, June 1st, I will email you a beautiful email with a certificate of completion with all the days you attended and the number of CPEs you got. It'll look wicked clean, super, super tight, so fresh and so fresh and so clean. So you'll get the dungeon family here of CPEs. I jest, Outcast is great, but they are not anything to do with CPEs. I do want to remind everybody, be sure to check with your cybersecurity certification body's CPE policies, right? So if you have a SANS certification, for example, SANS is a tricky lot. They actually don't recognize any CPEs that don't come from SANS. So that's kind of a tricky capitalism move where you have to pay for SANS things in order to be able to maintain your SANS certs. But I digress. Go ahead and check those certification bodies and see this would qualify as an instructor-led webinar. Now, you might be like, wow, this guy's got a lot going on. Sounds like you would be a first-timer because this is a pretty standard episode of Simply Cyber's Daily Cyber Threat Brief. So do me a favor. If you are here for the first time, drop a hashtag first-timer in chat. Hashtag first timer in chat. If you're here for the first time, whether you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, drop that hashtag first timer. Let us know. I got a special sound effect, a special emote. The community, the Simply Cyber Squad here, the community has definitely knows what to do when someone drops in here. We got Kyle, the real analyst, Philip Martin, Kathy Chambers is in the house. Z-Myth, my guy. We did the State of the Union address on Friday last week because you asked for it, called me out for not having done it in Q1. I didn't see you there, Z-Myth. I hope I had to pull it down. I played copyrighted music throughout the entire thing, and it was like blocked in multiple regions. So lesson learned, don't do that. Although it was good. It was the midnight. All right, guys, what do we got? We did our first timers. We did our CPEs. I explained what we're going to do. Oh, this show, it's not possible without the support and love of the stream sponsors. Links in the description below. If you'd like to support the channel, hit those links for the stream sponsors. Every time you hit one, it's like a little ticker, like the guy at the roller coaster. He's like, tick, tick, tick. How many people clicked through here? All right, so Dominic LaPlante says you can try to attempt a webinar. There you go. All right, so every day of the week has a special segment, by the way. Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday. Share a little bit. You may notice I'm wearing a collared shirt, but it is school's out of session. So why am I wearing a collared shirt? I'll share that with you at the mid-roll. Stream sponsors, guys, we got a bigger one. Stay tuned because it's a new ad read for Flare. Flare, hold on, we got a first timer here. Is it Core Lock? Who's the first timer, my guy? Core Lock. All right, so at Core Lock. Welcome to the party, pal. Welcome to the party, pal. Hold on, Jesus criminy. Can I get, there we go. Core Lock. For the first timer, I want to do this. There we go. All right, so holler at Flare Academy. Flare, cyber threat intelligence platform, but they also do webinars, which, by the way, is good for 2 CPEs. And this Thursday, May 28th, Thursday, illicit network mapping using data pivots to develop illicit connections. Guys, this is going to be an OSINT meets cyber threat intelligence meets awesome in one swift 2-hour session. They're going to be showing you how to use DNS, domain name system, the backbone of the internet, the thing that makes IP addresses easy to remember, to uncover forensic artifacts when doing investigations around threat actors. You can track, trace, and disrupt criminal infrastructure, all with DNS. Who knew? I can tell you for a fact, I have registered for this, and I will be there. So come join the Simply Cyber community to learn and engage in, whatever, good time, good spirits. 2 hours. I'll drop a link. Actually, if you go to simplycyber.io/flare, simplycyber.io/flare, you can also register free 2 hours. Here's my thing. Here's what I do. I registered, and if I can't make it, I will not make it. But if I want to make it, it'll be on my schedule. Simple as that, right? There is no cost associated with attending this free 2-hour session. Go check it out. Now, we got a special one for Anti-Siphon as well. Everybody's coming out of the woodworks. June 18th through June 26th, specifically June 17th, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., Anti-Siphon is running a threat hunting summit. This is essentially a virtual conference. They've done it before. It is awesome. June 17th, 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. So 6.5 hours of conference. Live training is available. They have 8 days of training, so there's something for everyone. The training does have a cost associated with it. You'll have to check the specific training because the costs do vary. But the ticket to the summit is free. So if you'd like to register for the Cyber Threat Hunting Summit, Wade Wells is doing a training there. We actually raffled off a voucher for Wade's training on Friday. We have 2 more raffles to run over the next week or so. So stay tuned for that. Wade Wells is my guest this Thursday on Simply Cyber Firesides, where we will be raffling off a $575 valued ticket to his course. Go check it out. Anti-Siphon's Threat Hunting Summit. If you are interested in doing a conference for free, 6.5 CPEs, learning defensive characteristics, defensive techniques, why not? You got 22 days, plenty of time to get it sorted out. Go now, Anti-Siphon Train Threat Hunting Summit. You'll be glad you did. Also want to say holla, 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 holla to ThreatLocker, the world's leading zero trust platform. Application denied by default. Yes, please. I'll take two. They were doing it on the endpoint for years. Now they moved into the network in cloud. Hello. Stop code from running that isn't allowed in your environment. It doesn't matter what the threat actors come up with. It's not going to run. Let's hear from them, and then I'm going to melt your face. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, ThreatLocker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with ThreatLocker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust ThreatLocker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. ThreatLocker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how ThreatLocker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right, y'all, it's that time. So do me a favor, Corlock, our first timer. I hope you have a great experience here at Simply Cyber. I hope you can join us on the Discord server, !Discord. All right, everybody, do me a favor, sit back, relax, and let the cool sounds of the hot news watch over all of us in an awesome wave. I'll see you at the mid-roll.
From the CISO series, it's cybersecurity headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Tuesday, May 26th, 2026. I'm Sarah Lane. Megalodon infects GitHub repositories. Researchers at SafeDep say a supply chain attack dubbed Megalodon infected more than 5,500 GitHub repositories after attackers pushed 5,718 malicious automated commits in a 6-hour window on May 18th. The commits inserted GitHub action workflows that stole CI secrets, including cloud credentials, SSH keys, API tokens, and database strings, while planting dormant backdoors that could be triggered later through GitHub's API. The campaign surfaced after compromised versions of TileDesk were published from a poisoned GitHub repository, adding to a growing wave of software supply chain attacks targeting developers.
All right, so this is pretty big. I will say, in full disclosure, I don't research or prep for these shows, if you didn't know.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So I don't know what stories are going to be coming. Corlock, I literally don't know what we're going to be covering. I did see this in the news yesterday, though. I mean, I'm a cybersecurity professional and love cybersecurity, all things cybersecurity. So, like, it's not like I'm not aware of these things, especially on a 3-day weekend. I do want to say, when I saw this, I read it as Megalodon, which I think is like the dinosaur shark. I was like, oh, Megalodon, this sounds big. LOL, right? But she called it Megalodon. All right, guys. GitHub repositories, obviously these would be public repos, allowing automated commits, which I'm sure they used AI to help develop this. Move quickly. You could do this without AI, by the way. You just write a script to do it. You'd have to have all of those repository names to be able to write to them. But it did two things. One, let's see. Two payloads, right? One was designed to add a new workflow that would be triggered on every push and pull request. So everything going forward, you know, to do something, okay? Like, it doesn't say what the payload does yet. It just on every pull and push request. So anytime code's checked in or checked out. Another one replaced existing workflows with specific triggers, creating dormant backdoors, which is gross. All right. So it exfils all CI environment variables, creds for AWS, Google Compute, Azure, private keys, Docker, Kubernetes. Basically, everything that you would want kept sensitive, kept secret. This thing exfils, which is gross. So patient zero is this TileDesk package. Let's see. Oh, This is complicated. So it looks like they attacked a specific developer. So patient zero was like a legit developer who they got the code into, and then that person was committing the code and infecting things without realizing it. Kind of like, you when you have, whoever had COVID first and they're walking around coughing on people, um, allegedly, right? Let's see. Um, Okay, this is actually kind of clever. So they included a GitHub Actions workflow. GitHub Actions, again, I've been like vibe coding the last couple weeks and screwing around. So the Daily Cyber Threat Briefs website has a GitHub action that basically goes on after the show and runs through the words I'm saying right now, right? The transcript of what I'm saying right now, and then develops show notes afterwards. That's a GitHub action. So it's basically like a trigger that you can activate. Pretty clever. They include a trigger which they can then pull with a GitHub API engagement, but they have to use uh, credentials to do it, which they use stolen GitHub tokens to do. All right. So they'd still need access to that. So obviously, if you have these malicious GitHub actions in place, you technically could revoke the tokens and then that the threat actor would not be able to call it. So I guess remediation in depth to coin a new term. Um, let's see. All right, so this is pretty clever. All right, so check it out. Here's the thing. You may be impacted by this mega lowdown attack, right? And unfortunately, it is not so much your GitHub repo. It may be software you're using used one of these GitHub repos or uses some of these GitHub repos, which could mean that, you have downstream impacts that you don't feel necessarily today, but you could have. Here's the thing. If a threat actor steals all the secrets in a GitHub repo, meaning all the credentials, all the API keys, all the tokens, all the things that allow access into the things that that software needs to access, whether it's Azure, AWS, Google, whatever, that means the threat actor now has that access. They don't need to run through the software. They can reach directly into the AWS, the Azure, whatever, using the API key and have all the permissions that that software has. Which means if you're using one of these softwares to store your own information, your own sensitive data, whatever, the threat actors are going to be able to access that. So it has like a cascading effect of potential impact. So, first of all, you can't be like, oh, I don't run GitHub, so I'm fine. No, that's not how it works. This is why it's called the supply chain attack. You may be using it by virtue of software that you are using. Now, here is the reality, okay? Number one, there is going to be some fallout from this. You may or may not have a problem. It's very difficult to be able to tell if you have a problem simply because you don't know what GitHub repos you are using in your environment. I'll put a pin in that one really quickly. I do want to point out NPM, who has been just NPM is like one of these code repositories for Node.js type stuff. They've been getting bamboozled and, just slapped around, frankly, from these supply chain attacks. And they announced last week that they are invalidating all tokens that do not have MFA authentication enabled on them, which is kind of weird because, like, typically you don't use like multi-factor on API keys. Maybe in order to generate an API key. Who's this? Guy or Bane with 5 gifted subs? Guy or Bane, thank you very much. At GYREBANE 6449. Thank you. Appreciate it. So this is part of the defense in depth, right? Like, you guys hear me all the time freaking screaming from the rooftops, multi-factor all the things. This is what you got to do, all right? You've got to do that. And unfortunately, they're basically, putting multi-factor authentication on the barn door, but the friggin' horses, you can barely see their butts in the distance. That's how far out of the barn the horses are. Let me take you just 1 second. Again, this is a big attack. supply chain attacks have existed for a minute, so this isn't like, a new paradigm. But let me tell you one other thing. Um, and I'm going to do this because, hello, GRC Mafia. We get the opportunity to flex a little bit. Guys, um, this is why asset inventory is so important. And for anyone in chat who's like, oh, GRC, you suck. Yeah, guess what? Oh, we suck until this happens. And then you're like, well, wait a minute. Where is the software in our environment? And then, like, we're over here, like, like whatever sassy GRC look you want to give, whatever kind of told you so, you got to just be like, this is what asset inventory is. And I got to tell you, the software bill of materials is the holy grail of knowing what is in your environment and what kind of repos there are that are being used. There are companies working on this right now. I actually just demoed one like last week or the week before that does a really interesting job of telling you the fingerprints of the software in it, not by having people tell them, but actually they disassemble the code and look at it. Very cool. But anyways, yeah, GRC for the win. Oh, wait, hold on. Whoops.
Netherlands seizes 800
That was a
servers
misfire.
over cyber attacks. Dutch authorities have arrested 2 men and seized more than 800 servers tied to hosting providers MIR Hosting and WorkTitans BV, accusing both of helping provide infrastructure used by Russian-linked groups for cyber attacks, influence operations, and disinformation across the EU. The investigation centers on Stark Industries Solutions, a network previously linked to DDoS attacks and proxy services used in Russian cyber operations, whose infrastructure was allegedly transferred to the Dutch companies after earlier EU sanctions. Ghost CMS.
Regulators! Mount up.
All right. So first of all, cool. Stark Industries, right? Like leaning into the Iron Man and the whole Marvel universe. So law enforcement takes him down. It was a 57-year-old and a 30-year-old, further emphasizing that, anyone can do it, right? So what do these guys do? Let's see. They're a sprawling hosting provider that materialized just 2 weeks before Russia invaded Ukraine. Okay, not bad. So they've been around since 2022. Can you believe that Ukraine-Russia conflict's been going on for 4 years? Over 4 years at this point. It's insane. So Stark's doing a distributed denial of service attacks against European targets. Obviously, the timing seems awfully coincidental, right? That right before there's a massive invasion and geopolitical conflict, a capability of nation state level strength comes online. Let's see. They're 2 Moldovan brothers. Let's see. The 2 Moldovan brothers were providing the internet access for this stuff. But in September 2025, some stuff, whatever, I guess. Hold on, this doesn't make any sense. I guess here's the TLDR. There was a distributed denial of service capability that oftentimes have what's called bulletproof hosting, which means they can operate inside of Russian controlled space, Eastern Europe, without worrying about law enforcement taking them down. In this instance, though, the Dutch were able to get a hold of these guys and their IT infrastructure and bring it down, which is interesting because they were doing it in the Netherlands. Here's my thing, guy. If you're going to become a cyber criminal, do not live in a country that you're likely to get arrested in. I don't know who it needs to hear this. I don't promote cybercrime. I don't want anyone to commit crime, right? We got enough problems as it is. But what are you doing? If you're smart enough to execute crime for 4 years and make millions of dollars, how are you not smart enough to know that you shouldn't live in a a country that's going to arrest you? In my opinion, humbly, you make a decision. Like the trade-off by having millions of dollars from illicit activity, the trade-off is you can now no longer live in cool places. You have to live in Siberia. Enjoy your millions of dollars. You can have a castle and do cool stuff. They sell Xboxes. You can get one, Amazoned to your castle in Siberia, but you can't live in Miami. Okay, I don't know who needs to hear that, but anyways, way to go. Again, 800 servers is quite a bit. Distributed denial of service attacks, there's a bunch of those services out there. So another threat actor is just going to pick up the reins here. So this is a speed bump as far as the war on cybercrime goes, but whatever, it's a W.
Exploited for click fix attacks. Researchers at Qianxin X Lab say attackers are actively exploiting a critical ghost CMS flaw to hijack more than 700 websites and inject malicious JavaScript tied to click fix attacks. The bug was discovered by Anthropic using Claude and patched back in February, letting attackers steal a site's admin API key and then bulk modify published articles with malware loaders. Victims visiting compromised sites are funneled to fake CAPTCHA pages that trick them into running malicious commands, ultimately installing persistent malware. Nigel Farage.
All right, so this is a pretty gross, serious issue. One that you can recreate in your own home lab environment if you wanted to make some content, if this aligns with like what you're up to. So Ghost CMS is content management system. Think of like website or WordPress or something like that. Ghost, in fact, actually, if I'm not mistaken, the interesting thing here is I don't know if this is the same thing, but this is Ghost right here, which is like basically an online website type thing. I'm assuming you can download and run your own local instance of Ghost. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. I'm actually looking at this to see if this is oh, this isn't good. Okay, so check it out. This is interesting. So I'm thinking that this is two things. One, this is this platform. The only reason I know about this platform is because I screwed around with AI and tried to like start a blog thing. And it AI told me to use Ghost. So I had this platform. I have a website on this platform actually, but I don't tell anyone about it because it's unrelated to anything cyber. Um, so here's the deal. What is this? If you run okay. If your business runs a website on this platform, which is a SaaS platform, right? So not installed locally, unfortunately, there was a vulnerability. It looks like it was a SQL injection vulnerability, which means you can custom write in the input field and submit it and have it do something on the back end in the database, which would allow a threat actor to pull the admin credentials from your website. So the Ghost platform, you did nothing wrong. You could have multi-factor you could have triple factor authentication. You could have all the things. You could have all the secure things. This platform was vulnerable, which means you and I's website was vulnerable. Now they have since patched it, so the exposure is closed. However, there may have been victims that got, basically impacted in the interim. It's quite complicated because, like, let's pretend Simply Cyber uses Ghost CMS as a platform, right? So Simply Cyber uses the platform and Ghost has a vulnerability. You all come to Simply Cyber's website and then get hit with this click fix bug, which means you think you're at my website, and you are, but you're about to give up your own credentials or you're going to infect yourself using ClickFix. So really, it's the customers or the patrons of the 700 websites who are actually the compromised entities. So like you, Phil Stafford, you, Zemif. So unfortunately, there's a lot of wrong going with this. Of course, at the end of the day, the trick here would be to educate your end users on not falling for click fix style attacks, meaning you're never going to hit Windows key R and then Control V into a terminal shell or into a start run box. Okay, show your end users that, right? Hey, this is Jerry from the InfoSec office. Hey, this is Phil Stafford from Cyber Team. Hey, this is Space Tacos from the GRC group. Watch this. Start run. Don't ever do this. You shouldn't see this. This is what threat actors are doing. Please get the word out, because even if they compromise your website and they get successfully a JavaScript infection to get the click fix come up, if the end user does not run the click fix attack, they won't get infected. It is required for the victim to actually execute the code. All right. Jesus. So, anyways, yeah, not good. Obviously, Go CMS fix this. Also, want to point out, if you do not know how, if anyone in your organization is using Go CMS, well, then that's an opportunity to learn. But I wouldn't send this out to your non-IT people, honestly, just because if you're talking about a vulnerability inside of a content management platform, you're gonna lose Carl, right?
This hack claimed to be without any merit. Former UK cyber chief Kieran Martin says Nigel Farage, leader of Reform UK, has provided no evidence for his recent claim that Russia hacked him and leaked information behind a Guardian report on an undeclared £5 million donation from crypto billionaire Christopher Harborn. Martin called the allegation a serious national security claim without any merit, unless backed by technical proof, and said Farage should report any evidence to the UK's National Cybersecurity Centre immediately.
Hold on, what happened? Hold on. So this is definitely like British related. I don't understand. Um, an aspiring prime minister has claimed that Russia launched an unprecedented aggressive intervention into British politics. Okay. Is somebody saying that someone got paid off here, or? All right, so he got a $5 million gift and didn't declare it. I mean, that, I don't know, man. People in power, they're always dodgy. So this guy got $5 million and was like, nope. Um, So, I mean, obviously, the idea here is like, say, whatever, like the mayor in your town, you give the mayor in your town like a $50,000 gift, or you give him like, a nice dinner, or you take him out on your boat or whatever, get them all liquored up. And then all of a sudden, you get like a very favorable judgment on where your property line is, right? People would say, oh, there's some, collusion going on. There's some tomfoolery going on. There's some shenanigans going on. This guy got $5 million gift from somebody, and people are saying that, oh, he's being bought off, basically. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know these people. I don't know who they are, what they're doing. I don't understand how this has anything to do with cyber, honestly. um, all right, so they're saying that this guy's phone was compromised, his email was compromised, his bank accounts were compromised. All right, I mean, hey, listen, it is possible to give somebody money without them wanting it. And, like say that mayor story again, right? Like say I hack into the mayor's account and I put $50,000 into his account. Now all of a sudden there is a traceable transaction in his financials that he received a large gift from somebody at some point that he would have to explain. Um, I don't know, dude. Here's my thing. I don't know how rich you have to be where like $5 million shows up in your bank account and you just don't notice it. You know what I mean? So, anyways, they're saying that someone hacked in and put 5 million in his account. Okay. I mean, if this guy's an aspiring prime minister, I'm sure he has access to all the cybersecurity professionals, digital forensics experts to do what they need to do on this one. I'm going to go ahead and say, like, I probably spent more time on this story than I really needed to. It doesn't feel like it's a cyber story. Roswell, UK is our local UK person. I'll allow him to do any additional insights. He says nothing really to do with cyber. Okay. I'm glad we covered it. That's sarcasm. I wish I wish this was not in the stories today.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, GuardSquare. Your back end is only as secure as your front end. Research shows that client-side compromise is now a primary driver of API risk, with 63% of leaders detecting mobile app tampering or cloning last year. Don't leave your mobile app security to chance. Get multi-layered protection for your entire mobile app ecosystem from the outside in. Learn more at guardsquare.com.
All right. All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for being here. Shout out to the stream sponsors, ThreatLocker, Anti-Siphon, As I said, links in the description below. Go check it out. A lot of great information. 2-hour webinar on using DNS to track threat actors. 6.5-hour virtual conference. All of these are free. Links in the description below, guys. Every day of the week has a special segment. Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday. Love it. I share a little bit about me with you. We see if we vibe. I'm going to give you two items today. One's a special shout out for my son. You may notice I'm wearing a collared shirt. I'm typically a t-shirt guy, but I have to put on a costume every once in a while. Going directly from here, Jesse Johnson, aka the Cosmic Cowboy, is going to be doing the Cyber Career Hotline at 9 a.m. But I am going to be throwing a smoke bomb like a ninja and getting the hell out of here as I rush to my son's elementary school as he is graduating from 5th grade. That's right. Callan has got a suit on today. He's looking sharper than a knife that's just been sharpened. And we're gonna go do the graduation, take the photos, and go get a delicious lunch at wherever he would like to go. So shout out to my son, and for everybody who's got the kids graduating, whether it's college, high school, elementary school, it's a special time. Shout out to all the parents out there. Also want to give you another quick little Tidbits Tuesday since, it's a fun thing to do. Guys, I find it wild how smart the algorithm is. Now, listen, all of us use YouTube. Many of us are on YouTube right now. Literally, I may have popped up in your feed on YouTube at some point. You're like, hey, I'll give this guy a shot. I will tell you, the algorithm, I'm all here for it. I love it. There has been a female bartender who basically makes content, and it's just stories that she's experienced over the years being a bartender. I would never have thought I'd be into this content. They're usually shorts, but it's I don't know if anyone else knows about this female bartender story. She's got brown hair. But anyways, the point is, Tidbits Tuesday. Has anybody been turned on to some kind of new content creator on YouTube or whatever that's in a vein of content that totally doesn't make any sense? I would never think of Googling bartender short true stories, but sure enough, I've probably watched 30 of them. So anyways, to the algorithm, holler. All right. I don't know, Tony. I could tell you, I bet you if I open her up right now, she'll be in my feed immediately. Yeah. Oh, she's actually got blonde hair now, but this lady right here. Yeah, that lady right there. So anyways, literally the first one in the feed. Also, shout out to Mad Hat, who's my #1 recommended video right now. I love that guy's content. All right, guys, we're going to finish strong, but let's do the laws. Come on now. Let's go. Thank you for all the well wishes, everybody, for Callan. Appreciate it. I'll let him know. There we go. Code Brew talking about a cell phone repair guy. Here we go. Oh, yeah, so true. Hey, like, quick shout out to Justin Anderson. He's talking about he's gotten into van camping videos and outdoor cooking. He doesn't know why. That's what I'm saying, dude. The algorithm's like, you know what you want? You want bushcrafting videos for 18 hours. And I'm like, you know what? I do want bushcrafting videos for 18 hours. Dude, I don't know how they do it. They've got some big brains over there at Google. But you know what? It is entertaining, so I'm here for it. All right, guys, let's finish strong, shall we?
Fake streams, counterfeit merch, and scams. Oh my. According to the Bitdefender Cybersecurity Grand Prix Fan Threat Index, cyber criminals have built a broad scam ecosystem around Formula One, targeting fans with fake streaming apps, counterfeit merchandise, bogus ticket offers, and social media scams. This is all to steal personal and payment data, spread malware, or monetize victims through ads and redirects, with some fake streaming tools even enrolling devices into botnets. Researchers say the pace and popularity of F1 make fans especially vulnerable.
All right. Hey, I mean, sure, why not? Dude, whether it's F1, FIFA, the Masters, Mike Tyson, Logan Paul fight, or Mike Tyson, friggin' whatever, Jake Paul, I don't care, fight. People are going to want to steal stuff, right? Like, especially right now, guys, in case you haven't been paying attention, gas is like $4.50 a gallon. We're going into the summer. People are driving around. It's costing more to do everything. Size of grocery, like cereal in cereal boxes, you're getting less in the box. Like, money's tight right now and it sucks. So, hey, you know what? Like, if I can watch F1 and steal the stream, why not? And then threat actors like, hey, you know what? Let's go ahead and pollute these and then promote the crap out of the fake apps and just have these people install malware. I'm telling you, the easiest way to get people to install malware is to have them do it for you, whether it's click fix or having them basically, try to steal something and install it. Now, counterfeit merch, I got to tell you that people are going like playing the long game with counterfeit merch. I mean, yes, you're stealing copyright and whatever, but my guy, like counterfeit merch has been around forever, right? Like right now, you can walk down the street in New York and buy a fake Gucci handbag or a fake Rolex watch. Like counterfeit merch has been around forever. Hold on, Gib, what? Hold on. Space Tacos is doing a wrecking ball. So, Gib, what? Space Tacos has a very high fidelity when it comes to wrecking balls. So, what is it? You know what? We're just going to lean into it. Gib, what? Can I get a link here or a screenshot, y'all, on what Gib what did? So here's what I would do. I'm just going to fire it off.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
All right. All right. Congratulations, Gib. What? I wish I knew what it was you did. I mean, obviously you got a job, but I don't see the link. But all right. So here's the deal. F1 has blown up in popularity. Thank you, Haircut Fish. So Gib what signed a contract on Friday starting on June 1st. New work. My guy, straight crushing it. Now, Gib what? The good news is you got the job. The interesting news is, yes, the work now begins, but all the effort you've been putting in up to this point has prepared you to go forth and crush it. Shout out to me. I have a video on the channel on how to crush your first 90 days. Gib what? I recommend you watch it. A lot of people have watched it and really gotten value from it. You will be a juggernaut. So keep crushing it. All right, guys. So here's the deal. F1, it's F1 today, but it'll be something tomorrow. I this isn't educate your end users, okay? Educate your end users, and enable them to be able to easily communicate this to their family and loved ones. Dude, nothing is more effective than empowering others to be the savior, right? So don't try to be like, oh, I'm the one who's going to be saving everybody. No, equip people with, like, obviously educate them, but equip them with the tools to be able to look like, like basically the man, or like the leader, or whatever, the subject matter expert on being able to protect their family, their loved ones. Believe me, I may not download a fake F1 streaming app, but my son might, right? Because he's like, oh, this is cool, I'm gonna check this out. So anyways, yeah, check it out. Also holler really quick at Formula Dank, the Reddit meme channel, or whatever you want to call it, for Formula One. I got into Formula One a little bit. I thought for a second I might be there. I was entertaining doing a podcast with Red Bull Racing. They were reaching out to me as a talent, which was super sick. So like I tried to get all trained up on F1. Spoiler alert, I didn't get the job. But F1's pretty cool. So anyways, yeah, threat actors are going to threat act. Anytime you're stealing something, chances are it's like the people who are hosting it or providing it, they have an incentive. Most people aren't just like anarchists where they're like, oh, we're going to stream all the things. No, there's definitely value for them. So think about what that is.
Those class models headed to the public. Anthropic says it plans to eventually release public versions of its Mythos bug finding models once it can build stronger safeguards against misuse. For now, access remains limited under Project Glasswing, though it is expanding to governments and some other partners. Anthropic says Mythos has scanned more than 1,000 open source projects and found more than 6,200 high or critical severity vulnerabilities, including a major flaw in Wolf SSL. But the volume of AI generated findings is also adding strain to security teams. Lazarus.
Yeah. Okay. So Mythos is, Anthropic Mythos is the Claude model that can basically look at code and magically find all the vulnerabilities, critical and high, like be able to walk right through. Like, do you guys remember the Matrix? Hold on, the Matrix twins, ghost twins. Okay, you guys remember these guys? Hold on one second. What are we doing here? Remember these ghost twins here? Where they could like phase out, basically, this thing right here. Stay with me on this analogy, okay? These ghost twins that could phase out. I'm showing it on stream right now. That's basically what Mythos does. It can look at source code and just like phase through it and basically find all the bad, bypass authentication, remote code execution, all the things. And the US government, thank you, Dan, the US government has kind of like controlled who has access to this, because the argument is it's too powerful. If it got out, threat actors would immediately weaponize it, and we'd be overloaded, overwhelmed with being able to try to defend from it. At the same time, they've begun releasing it to more people. You could see more users, including governments. So, in a perfect world, right? In a utopia, only the good people are using this to harden things in preparation for a widespread release. But we live in reality, not utopia. So chances are people. Listen, here's the deal. If I was the NSA, right? If I was the National Security Agency for the United States government, you know what I would be doing? I would be building a giant toolbox of weapons using Mythos for all the tech stacks that my adversaries have. And then I would maybe release it, if that, right? Maybe some nerfed version of it. We'll see. Here's the deal. This is like a nuclear weapon, except the problem is you don't need all of the physical, enriched uranium that only certain countries can produce, the tritium and all these other things. It's software, and so many governments are working on their own AI models. There's a ton of research, there's a ton of open source, there's a ton of all these things. So the United States can wrap their arms around Mythos all they want. China, Russia, they're going to find their own versions. Justin Anderson says, oh, hey, might not be the right time, but I did just complete my degree in cybersecurity, concentration in cloud computing at Purdue Global. Heck yeah, buddy. Congratulations, Justin Anderson. It's always the right time to share that kind of W. I love it. Here's the TLDR, guys. Whether you're US based, foreign based, or whatever, whether Mythos gets released today or next year, two things. One, I've been telling you already, we are going to be dealing with a massive, massive issue of old, last 20 years of software, all these 0 days coming out because AI is going to find them and it's just going to be a hot mess express. I sincerely, strongly encourage you to do two things. One, increase your vulnerability management program so you're aware of where software is, how to patch it, who are the right people in your environment. Number two, have decent incident response in place, whether it's a third party incident response firm or it's internal, whatever it is, get ready because you are literally, lots of people are going to get their mouths punched. You're going to have a bloody lip, maybe a missing tooth, like you're a hockey player. Like, you're going to have some issues here, and it's going to be, a friggin' field day, probably for a few years, okay?
Deploys remote PE, memory only RAT. Researchers at Fox IT say the North Korea linked Lazarus Group is using a stealthy memory only remote access Trojan called Remote PE in attacks on financial and cryptocurrency firms. It's delivered through social engineering on Telegram and fake scheduling sites and loads entirely in memory, evades endpoint detection, and leaves almost no forensic traces while giving attackers persistent access for surveillance, data theft, or potential financial heists. On call.
All right. So Lazarus Group is the North Korean financially motivated cyber criminal APT. They have been around for a long time. They're super strong. It's called Remote PE. If I had to guess, PE is typically associated with portable executable, more commonly known as a Windows binary. It is cross-platform, so I guess the name is kind of not indicative of what it is. Cross-platform, I would assume, means Linux, and Linux variants like Mac OS and Windows. Let's see. See, it says cross-platform, but then it talks about how it like literally uses a Windows API to load the malware into memory. This doesn't have file written to disk. This is exclusively in memory. So if you're like looking at disk with your EDR, you're not going to see anything. It is a remote access tool. It has C2, of course. Basically, the question now becomes like, how does someone get this installed on their machine to begin with? Someone has to have initial infection. It doesn't just appear. Let's see, the intrusion. Employee's device through social engineering, having approached the victim on Telegram under the guise of an existing employee of a trading company and scheduling a meeting on a fake Calendly app. All right. So, my guy, listen. If someone reaches out to you on Telegram, pretending to be a coworker, first of all, you can fact check that, but let's just pretend you don't. And then they send you a Calendly link to set up a meeting with them, and then somehow you download a binary. Like, I mean, it's at the point where you're setting up a meeting invite and then somehow you install a binary. Like, that's where you jump the shark. That's a bridge too far. What are you doing? What are you doing? Okay. Not to mention, like, this is a little bit of a crime of opportunity because if you're doing it on your iPhone, this isn't going to work, right? Like, unless maybe the payload's in the calendar invite, but even then you'd still have to execute it. I don't know, man. It's working, obviously. Oh, hey, we get a little graphic here. Windows servers are side-loaded. Okay. All right, so here's what it is. This is like a fully fleshed out piece of malware. Of course, a lot of threat actors that are nation states backed have very robust, good malware, It's the initial infection you always got to look at. Finally, just because I'm a GRC nerd and I'm thorough on things, it says cross-platform malware, but all signs indicate this is a Windows-only thing. So maybe they mean cross-platform, like it affects Windows 11, Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows XP, Windows 3.1, Windows NT. No, yeah, okay. But in reality, it's not cross-platform. It doesn't feel cross-platform. The title Remote PE seems more on brand that it detects portable executor or Windows binaries. So take your cross-platform and go get it fact-checked.
Oncology Institute discloses breach. The Oncology Institute, or TOI, which delivers specialized cancer care through a network of clinics across 5 U.S. states, says a previously disclosed cybersecurity incident at a third-party software vendor exposed patient data across its systems. While the vendor was not named, the timeline points to TriZetto Provider Solutions, which earlier reported a breach affecting multiple healthcare customers and about 3.4 million people. The full scope of the impact and who was behind the attack still unclear. Cloud.
All right, here we go. Hold on, is there another story? We got 4 minutes, and then I'm gonna smoke bomb out of here. So this is the last story I'm gonna do before turning it over. All right, so oncology discloses data breach. This is a health and human services data breach. Unfortunately, it's cancer patients. What kind of information got out? Kroll is I don't know how Kroll's involved. Kroll's like one of these big kind of conglomerates that have tons of business units, but so this looks like it's a third-party data breach. So a lot of healthcare companies are using healthcare technologies. That healthcare technology got compromised, and people are suspecting it's TriZetto. So that means that this Oncology Institute is the one in the news. But first of all, they didn't do anything wrong. It was a third party that had a breach. And then second of all, there will be other companies because I assure you, this Oncology Institute is not the only customer of this third-party platform. So unfortunately, this is how it works in 2026, man. SaaS products move quick, break things, supply chain. But when there's someone upstream that gets impacted, lots of other businesses suffer. A lot of healthcare businesses are going to have to send out identity breach letters and probably try to sue the third party affected, in this case allegedly TriZetto, in order to recoup the cost that they're going to have to dole out for all of this data breach remediation. 3 million individuals compromised. That sucks. So basically, you already have cancer. You're fighting a fight against cancer, and then you find out that your data's been breached. Thanks a lot. No, I'm not doing the Citadel. Citadel's done for the semester. I am got to go to Callan's graduation. All right, guys, it's 8:58. Really quickly, let me do a couple things. Number one, our very own Ben Wilkinson, the trucking cyber guy. He's Simply Cyber community member. I did a podcast with him. Go check it out. I'm going to drop a link in chat. Only 400 subs right now. He's just building this up. I love it. If you're into transportation, if you're into the trucking and logistics space, if you want to know why organized crime is willing to steal a truckload of pistachios, spoiler alert, it's worth over $1 million. You're going to want to check out the trucking cyber guy. Love his content. And let's see. And again, not to say that I'm any great shakes, but if you'd like to learn more about me, we go deep into my story and my thoughts on current events, right? So definitely very cool. Here's the, by the way, retro synthwave, all the things. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Also, we've got Cyber Career Hotline coming up with Jesse Johnson, aka the Cosmic Cowboy. He's been slaying it in the month of May. Definitely appreciate Jesse. Hold on one second. I'm going to get you the graphic. Here we go. There we go. Cyber Career Hotline. Phone lines are open. I can see him. Big old smile, Jesse Johnson. I love you, guy. Double thumbs. Love it. All right. So Cyber Career Hotline's coming up. And then at 9:30, as if we didn't have enough content for you, Kathy Chambers, Daniel Lowry, talking about tech layoffs and self-doubt. Even though it seems heavy, I promise you're going to leave this conversation feeling inspired and at least know that you are not alone. I'll drop a link for that in chat as well. In fact, I'm going to pin this in chat. Let me go ahead and pin that. And Kathy's got something coming on in a Discord server unrelated to Simply Cyber later today, I think. She'll be in chat and can share that. Guys, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Don't go anywhere. Cyber Career Hotline's coming up. I'm going to go see my son graduate 5th grade. Until next time, stay secure. Thanks, Jesse.
I'm Dr. Gerald Auger. This is the Cyber Career Hotline. If you're building a career in cybersecurity, this show is for you. Let's get into it.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Cyber Career Hotline. How is everybody? Give me the reins on this rainy Tuesday morning. I think it is Tuesday, isn't it? Still, all day. I have returned from leave. I was in Santa Fe, New Mexico, celebrating a 7-year anniversary with my wife. It was wonderful. Beautiful area, beautiful food. Back in the cockpit, ready to answer some cybersecurity questions about breaking in, leveling up, music, Magic the Gathering, fitness. Ask me anything. Hey, Kenneth J, good to see you. Kellen, congratulations on your graduation. You probably can't hear this, but I'll see you soon, and I'll tell you in person. Congrats. It is Tuesday, James McQuiggan, all day. Feels like a Monday. How's everybody's cybersecurity journeys going? Where are we at? How's our certs coming along? How's our studies, our home labs? How's that volunteer experience coming along? How's the job applications? I know it's a scary world out there, but I'm telling you, stick with it. It's a world of attrition. Cyber Shinigami, congrats, Jesse Johnson. I love the AOT shirt. Thanks, buddy. Good to see you. Scrolling through chat, making sure I have not missed any questions yet this morning. Looks like everybody's just rocking and rolling, doing some cyber career hotlining, some jaw jacking in chat. You bought a microphone, so finally, hopefully your audio will be sufficient. I take it, do you mean for streaming and stuff? Hey, printer device. Bearded Ruckus, 2 more classes to get done with your master's program. Nice. Congrats on the master's program. Here we go. We're back. GRC Guardrail, good morning. Kenneth J, just bebopping at work, working on Size of Plus. It's a world of perception. Whoever gives the best perception that there seems to win where I'm at. You're putting in the motions. You tuned in to Slay Cert Plus yet? We're doing Size of Plus right now. I'll use that opportunity for a shameless plug. Anybody going to any cons? Any DEF CON folks? I know I'm super proud to be supporting Noob Village again this year as we take over DEF CON, helping folks navigate and understand cybersecurity, conferences, things of that nature. I'll be at DEF CON, then I'll be at Wild West Hack and Fest, and then Simply CyberCon. And that will be it for my con season. Phil Stafford, the sun has risen, and the sun is good, right? Can I get a hallelujah? How's it going today? Everybody's having a good Tuesday, it looks like. I don't see any questions, so I'm down to just hang. I want to make sure I'm providing value if possible, and if hanging out, chatting while you're getting to work or doing your morning routine provides value, then I'm here for it. James McQuiggan, 35,000 feet. Oh, you're going to be at New Village too. Let's go. That's going to be an absolutely crazy month for me. We got New Village, DEF CON, and then I'm also doing a 4-day Disney trip with my kids for the very first time. I didn't grow up going to Disney, grew up extremely poor, so Disney was like that didn't exist as a child. So now I'm trying to give my kids some of the things I think would be cool that I didn't have. Luke Canfield, good morning, buddy. Deadwood, if your CFP gets picked up, well, I hope it does, because it'd be cool to see you again. You're always a good always a good hang. Hey, Random, any big summer plans? Playing music live, I'm putting together like an alternative jam, experimental dance world music project that I'm trying to kick off for fun. And then I've got some shows lined up into fall with another project. I'll be playing some live music. I got some family trips, Siza Plus coming up, work, of course, maybe some work trips, going to see my brother, Magic the Gathering, of course, fitness, just normal life, just hanging out with the family and trying to keep my cup full as much as possible. In this economy and in the world we live in, you gotta do everything you can to stay above water, right? Hey, Space Tacos, long time no here, good friend. How was my weekend? My weekend was great. To hang out in Santa Fe, New Mexico, enjoying good food. James McQuiggan, if you want to catch him in August, he'll be teaching his public speaking workshop, DEF CON Black Hat and B-Sides Las Vegas, the Cognitive Security Conference in SANS Secure the Human, and convene with a trip to the UK for the wedding. So you probably can't go with James to the wedding, but if you want to catch him, that's where he'll be. Awesome dude to plug into and soak so much knowledge to take in. You got B-Sides Harrisburg on Friday, then Wild West Hack and Fest in October. It'll be good to see Haircut Fish. Temmie, this is a great question. Do you know if CompTIA accepts screenshots of Jerry's streams for CPEs? CompTIA does accept screenshots of Jerry's streams for CPEs. He also has his CPE program. If a moderator, there's a mod handy that could put that in chat, I'd appreciate it. Question, soap flavored, heading to DEF CON for the first time myself, would love to meet up. If there's do you have any other recommendations? So for the minute you get there, check in, come find Noob Village, partially because the Noob Village folks, just remember that name, Noob Village. The Noob Village folks are tightly intertwined with a lot of the Simply Cyber community, but also the Simply Cyber community does show up pretty strong at DEF CON, and then we have a meetup. We take a picture with Jerry. It's super fun. You don't want to miss it. If you go to DEF CON and just say Team Simply Cyber, it'll only take a few minutes before somebody from the Simply Cyber community will find you. I will be there. Casually Joseph will be there. Steve McCauley will be there. James McQuiggan, Josh Mason, many, many others who are in their own little communities, but also rub elbows and help and plug into the Simply Cyber community. So show up, be ready to walk around and to talk to folks, and you'll find us. I want to remind everybody that we have Kathy Chambers, Authentically Cyber, talking about burnout, layoffs, probably getting into cyber, some of the fears that we might have as we navigate the tech industry with just kind of the way the environment it is, with how AI is proliferating, kind of the social climate, the geopolitical climate that we're in. So there's a lot at play. Keep your head up. I'll say it over and over again, and I'll keep saying it. Keep your head up. Stay focused. Keep doing your labs. Keep doing your volunteer work. Keep doing your certs. Keep showing up, putting in the work, because it will pay off. Noob Village, Noob Village. That's right, soap flavored. I need to work on my enunciation. I am working on that. I just don't want to use the hard S's like an influencer. Man, it's good to see everybody. It feels like I was gone in Santa Fe, and it feels like I was gone for an eternity. Yep. Oh, how could I forget the Hack Smarter and Simply Cyber meetup? Tyler Ransby from Hack Smarter, Kairos Sec Security, hacker, pen tester, mentor, rapper, friend. You don't want to miss that meetup. Pocket Pixel, good morning. Soulshine C2 asks, is there a difference between IT GRC and cyber GRC? I don't think that there is. I'm sure there's maybe some slight differences. It's like saying, hey, is there a difference between a cybersecurity analyst and an IT security analyst? I think it really depends on, again, the classic answer, it depends. But I really do think it depends on what your role entails. I think that at this point, between IT GRC and cyber GRC, you're really splitting hairs and it's semantics. They could very well be the exact same role. They could be very similar roles. If it has GRC in it, you're going to be working with frameworks, compliance frameworks, risk assessments, all of the things that we talk about here in the Daily Cyber Threat Brief in the GRC space. Hashtag GRC Mafia, you might be doing vulnerability management. Is there a difference between IT GRC and cyber GRC? Probably not a ton. Maybe IT may be more focused on just the assets itself in the IT space, whereas cyber GRC maybe is focused around that cyber resilience, cybersecurity posture of the organization, something like that. It's going to be splitting hairs. There's going to be slight differences. LinkedIn user. Good morning, Team SC. Good morning, LinkedIn user. Burnout from the layoff, 18 months, baby. Man, Luke, I'm so sorry, brother. You're an asset to the community. I think you'd be an asset to a lot of teams you work for. But I am bummed to hear that, and I hope you find something soon. What's up, Simply Cyber fam? Questions, ask me anything. You're just dropping in. Maybe somebody sent you here from Slate Cert Plus or SANS Training, or maybe the anti-siphon folks. We're talking about Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Brief. If you're just joining us, this is a 30-minute Ask Me Anything. I'm coming hot off the heels of that nerd, Dr. Gerald Auger, and his Daily Cyber Threat Brief. This is a 30-minute Ask Me Anything, breaking into cybersecurity, leveling up, fitness, Magic the Gathering, music, whatever you want it to be, travel, food. Let's chat. I'm here. The phone line is open, or you can just drop your question in chat. There's no actual phone line, so don't call me, please. How long do I think it's going to take to become a SOC analyst? Well, that question, let's unpack that for just a second, because I can't give you a number. To become a SOC analyst requires a little bit of hands-on stuff. It requires a good, clean resume. It requires some healthy networking, and it's going to require a little bit of luck. So I think there are things that you can do to speed that along. You can do volunteer work. You can do your hands-on home labs. If you already work in IT or cybersecurity, it may be easier. If you're coming in just fresh off the train from no experience town, then it might take you a little bit longer. So it really depends on how much are you willing to invest in yourself? Are you willing to save money from spending on coffee, junk food, streaming services to invest in training, both paid and unpaid free training? Because I love free training and I'll do the free stuff, but there is something to be said for some of the paid training, right? Do your due diligence, do your research, investigate, find out if it's worth or brings you value. But are you willing to invest in yourself, and how much? About 3 to 4 months to be a SOC analyst. I don't want to discourage you. And for some folks, it may take 3 to 4 months. There are some folks with credentials and experience that have been trying to become a SOC analyst for 3 to 4 years. I'm not saying that's going to be your story, but I would be very, very, very realistic with yourself and say it could take me 3 to 4 months. I might have some training. I might already know somebody. Maybe I'm just in the right place where there's a lot of job opportunities and the demand is high and I'm the supply. Maybe that's just your story and it could take you 3 to 4 months. For most people trying to break into the industry to become a SOC analyst, that number of 3 to 4 months is not realistic and could take anywhere between 1 to 3 to 5 years, depending on education, training, how much time do you have to invest in yourself, how big is your network, who are you rubbing elbows with, all of those types of things. How are your soft skills developed? So don't want to break your spirit. 3 to 4 months could happen, and for some folks it does. The reality is, it could take a year, 2, or longer to become a SOC analyst. It really depends on so many factors. But keep plugging into the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, anti-siphon training. TCM Security, Zach Hill, IT Career Questions, Kathy Chambers, Authentically Cyber, Daniel Laurie, so many others. And before you know it, you'll start to pick up on things in the industry, concepts, networking, meeting the people, finding out if a SOC analyst is really what you want to do. So stay plugged in. Cosmic Links, love the handle. What is the best certification to get a beginner role as a SOC analyst? Are you already a SOC analyst, or you want to become a SOC analyst and so you want a... Basically, if you're going to be applying for most government jobs or a lot of other cybersecurity jobs, the first cert they're going to be looking for is the Security Plus by CompTIA. It is not an end-all be-all. It gives you a high-level overview of multiple facets of cybersecurity. It does not make you an expert, nor does it get you a job. But the typical hiring manager is going to at least be filtering for the CompTIA Security Plus. After that, if you are really trying to become a SOC analyst, you're going to want to have some hands-on experience. I would start with first the anti-siphon training SOC home, the SOC home lab skills class, teaching SOC skills. That's a free class, or pay what you can. Go to anti-siphon training and check that out. Then I would look at maybe getting Blue Team Level 1, Hack the Boxes, SOC Analyst Certificate, and then maybe CISA Plus. But really, it's going to be about getting that hands-on experience, building up labs, understanding how routing, switching, understanding the network, understanding what attacks look like, indicators of compromise, threat detection, so many little things that you need to understand so that you can start to narrow down in that becoming a SOC analyst. So I'd start with Security Plus, start getting some hands-on experience. Then maybe I would look at doing a Hack the Box or Blue Team Level 1 hands-on cert. At the same time, I'm continuing to build out home labs. I'm continuing to do the hands-on training. And then I'd maybe look at getting CISA Plus. And I know there's a lot of other ones maybe that I'm missing. Those are the ones that I've seen bring other folks value. I did the Blue Team Level 1 training, did not take the cert, but I did the training, and that brought me a ton of value. Cosmic Links, this is from Cyber Shinigami, who is a SOC analyst, says that the Security Plus going to the CISA Plus are going to be the most beneficial. And it's probably going to be the most on paper requested by a hiring manager, an HR company. Coffee in my Broncos cup. Hey, Straw Hat Sec. I'm looking for entry-level roles, doing the work, almost done with CPTS. Within a week, I should be getting Sec Plus. I did volunteer B-sides. I found 3 duplicate bugs in the last 4 days. Straw Hat Sec, you are crushing it. I don't want to compare myself to you, or I don't want anybody to compare yourselves to Straw Hat Security or Straw Hat Sec, but you can use this as some inspiration. You got to do the work. You have to put in the work. So Straw Hat's been studying for some certs, looking at getting the CPTS, or looking at getting their Sec Plus. 2 pretty good certs to have on a resume. And now we've got some volunteer B-sides work. You found some bugs, doesn't have to be perfect, but you are documenting a living resume for yourself, Straw Hat Sec. Use that as maybe a springboard for yourself if you're trying to break in. There's 3 things that you can do. Very, very, very actionable. The barrier for entry is really low, especially with the help of AI tools. Use them as a force multiplier to broaden your horizons. Justin Anderson, what's going on, and welcome to the party. Mentioned earlier that you completed your master's in cyber. Congratulations. You've gotten your Networks Plus and your CCNA. You're working on some vulnerability remediation projects at work, and you're building a Proxmox-based home lab. Again, doing the work. What do you do next? Document. I would look at this is what, for me, because I want to think holistically, I would do the lab and either open it up to the internet, run Atomic Red Team, do some kind of automated pen testing. Then I would do a report. I would put together a pen test report and pick your framework. I don't care what it is. It can be NIST, special publication. It can be CIS, whatever your controls, find a framework and then document a risk assessment. Have a clean documentation. So not only did you build the lab, not only have you looked for indicators of compromise from legit sources, because you're going to have it opened up to the external face, to the public facing internet, right? So you're going to have actual brute force login attempts. You're going to see actual indicators of compromise. I would do a framework analysis, gap assessment, risk analysis for this. I would create a pretend company, and I would do a whole repo of this pretend company. Talk about, make it whatever you want to make it. Proxmox is a great idea. I personally love using something like Ansible or something to spin it up in the cloud using infrastructure as code, because you can spin up an entire small company for $100 in just a matter of minutes. Something to consider. And then some of the cloud-based and virtual networking makes it really simple. But I think the Proxmox is a killer idea. Continue it. So that's what I would do. I would do a full-on risk assessment, penetration testing. I want to submit with my resume, hey, this may or may not be beneficial. Here's an example. This is not AI. This is my work. Here's an example of what my documentation looks like. Here's an example of my understanding of threat hunting. Here's some documentation of my understanding of penetration testing. Submit to them either a holistic package or have it targeted and ready to go. So that's what I would do. Still no patch for BitLocker. Should we tell users don't lose their stuff? I think when we see things like this, excuse me, all of the cybersecurity basics apply even more, specifically, especially with the identity thing. Making sure, identity and access management to the device. I know it's BitLocker, so we're not really talking necessarily at the identity level, but we still need to have all of network segmentation set up, understanding the difference between roles, users, and administrative roles. The cybersecurity hygiene basics come into play. Monitor. Look for those IOCs that we have that you see listed. For somebody that asked how long it would take, I think it might have been Pocket Pixel, Dan Reardon, or the Haircut Fish. It took me 3 years from the time I started looking into cyber till I landed a job as a SOC analyst. It takes time, but is well worth it. I did my learning while still working IT-related jobs. That's similar to my story. If it wasn't directly in IT or cyber, it was IT adjacent or audio-video adjacent. Even when I worked in law enforcement as a street cop, part of my duty was, because I just said duty, A, and B, part of what I did was help manage some of the IT-ish infrastructure, kind of the go-to person on house. They had a managed service provider. So no matter what I did, I kind of tried to stay IT adjacent. There were a few times while I was working, either trying to get back into IT or to level up in cybersecurity, that I was rejected many times, even with referrals. A referral isn't a guarantee, but it does help. Network Chuck, David Bombal, anti-siphon training, and of course, Professor Messer helped me get the certs. And Dr. Jerry Auger was my biggest and most important key to my success. That is a story we hear time and time again regarding the good doctor. You got the CISA Test Plus this weekend. Do I have any tips? I do have some tips. I'm taking my CISA Plus in 4 weeks, and I currently lead a study group every single day when I'm not on vacation or work, family, all that kind of stuff gets in the way. But it's called Slay Cert Plus. Right now we're going through CISA Plus. We're doing official practice test questions, performance-based questions. We're walking through Domain 1 all the way through Domain 4. It's live. It's every day at 2 p.m. Eastern, and then a long-form podcast interactive study session on Fridays with the fabulous Tech Ricky as our co-host. Let me drop this link in chat. I've been a PC person, and now I'm back on a Mac. Give me make sure I remember everything. Yeah, check out Slay Cert Plus. We can give you some advice, but the same thing that I would tell anybody taking a multiple choice question. You've already taken probably some, it sounds like. So same thing as always. Make sure you read the question really carefully. Skip the PBQs at the beginning. Come back for those. Do your multiple choice ones first. Rock them out by reading the question, understanding as you're reading it, do any keywords pop up? Is there anything that you're formulating as a possible answer? Once you read the question clearly and you know what it's asking you, look for you'll get 4 answers to choose from typically. Typically, you get 4 answers to choose from. Of those 4 answers, 2 of them are going to be obvious no-goes. And from the 2, you're going to be left with 1. You need to do a better or best option. After that, it's going to be identifying, looking what the question is asking you and what answers are CompTIA giving you. If you work in the industry and you've worked in the industry for a long time and you go to take the CISA Plus or the Security Plus, it may be difficult because sometimes what happens in the real world isn't exactly what happens in the textbook world. I say this time and time again, just go with what CompTIA gives you. They're going to give you a few answers to choose from. Maybe the best real world answer isn't there. Don't get hung up on it. Go with the best option that CompTIA gives you. Make sure you answer every single question. Flag them if you need to go for review. Go back, do your PBQs, and you should be solid. CompTIA does give partial credit on questions that say best, most, give you multiple selections, pick 2, and they also give partial credit from what I understand on the PBQs. So it's really important to answer every component as cleanly as possible because you never know when you get just partial credit. If a person is recommending and getting to entry IAM, so identity and access management, how would they recommend to go about it? That's a great question. I would YouTube Jerry's podcast, see anybody else that's working in the industry, and then same thing with LinkedIn. Just start looking at IAM analyst or identity access, management analyst. Start watching videos, understanding tool sets, understanding some of the terminology. As you do that, maybe start making some posts here and there on LinkedIn. Maybe contribute to other people's posts that are on LinkedIn. So if you're trying to get in, that's how I would do it. And then learn from people in the industry. You obviously understand that the identity that's the golden ticket, right? That Jerry said this and we say this, hackers aren't hacking in, they're logging in. So that identity piece is huge. Poner Joe, good to see you, buddy. Jesse, nice to see you, man. And hello, everyone. Hey, Poner Joe. Man, what a story. Did the work. Wanted to get into cyber, did the home labs, did the healthy networking, ended up working in penetration testing as a full-on ethical hacker. It does happen. Luke Canfield, lamenting. He's at the point that he's accepting you have to relocate, but that also has its issues. Anything we can do to help you out, man? I think you have my mobile. If not, hit me up. Happy to help where I can. We got about 3 minutes left, and then we're going to rock and roll over to Kathy Chambers, Authentically Cyber. Currently a SOC cyber analyst. Goal in the future is to get a senior role. Any advice? Do I possibly need to find a niche? So I work in vulnerability management, security operations. At some point, I would like a senior role. And I think that finding a niche is really important because you can specialize. If anybody that's remaining in chat that works in a senior role, Philip Stafford, Elliot, James McQuiggan, any advice for somebody with a future goal of getting a senior role? Do they need to find a niche? Can they continue to stay broad? Should they start to plug in with other managers? Maybe you could find somebody who's in a senior role, offer to take them to coffee, ask them questions about the senior role lifestyle, ask them their path to getting that senior role. Might not be exactly for you, but again, just like Bruce Lee would tell us, take what works, discard what doesn't, right? Take what works, put it in your toolkit, discard what doesn't. Any advice in chat for those that want to look into a senior role? I think finding a niche is important. And if you don't find a niche, you probably will. I think having a holistic view of cybersecurity and understanding holistically how it functions is crucial. But then being a specialist. Oh, that's good. Read the answers bottom up and your brain will not jump immediately to the first answer. I did that on my CISM and it was a game changer. Ah, Elliot, I'm taking that into our live study sessions. We're going to start reading the answers from the bottom up because it does. Sometimes you jump to that first or second answer you read. Clean. I like that tip. Gib What says, thank you for the link. I've been struggling through the first 2 chapters of the CySA study guide, issues with setting up Alien and Nessus. I'm going to check out your study stream for sure. Yeah, check it out. We do mostly practice questions. We do get a little bit hands-on. It's really about helping people identify what those questions look like. All right, team. A lot of good questions, a lot of good conversation. We got to roll. We got to turn it over to Kathy Chambers, Authentically Cyber. I don't want to leave you hanging or leave her hanging. I look forward to seeing everybody later today as we do some CySA Plus studying. I got to get on. I got to boogie on out of here so that we can get Kathy Chambers rocked and rolling. Man, it was awesome hanging out with all of you. Until next time, take care, everybody. Stay secure. See ya.